What's good, guys? Welcome back to another video. So a bit of a different setup today. Like, fun fact, this morning we had a heavy bout of rain here in Bali, and ever since then, for the entire day, the Wi-Fi and mobile data has just been out for half of Bali. Unfortunately, I'm staying in that half where we have zero Wi-Fi and mobile data. So just recording this, like, expect this to not be edited. I just wanted to get this out to you guys in whatever way that I can. By some God's miracle, the data came back like about 5 minutes ago. It's still really spotty though, as you can see from this up here. Like, it's still really spotty. So I'm gonna do my best. And yeah, let's get into the video. Anyways, on the daily chart so far, we have closed a bullish again yesterday. So today we're going to be looking for a bullish trade. Unfortunately though, we are now heading into this bearish fair value gap right here, which means that there is a potential that, things could just continue downwards from this point onwards. It's the exact same setup that I talked about yesterday in regards to the weekly bias, because last week's, candle closed bearish, and as well as the fact that we have gotten the first weekly bearish change in state of delivery for the first time in a long time, we are actually pretty bearish on the weekly chart. And when you're bearish on the weekly chart, you can expect Mondays and Tuesdays to kind of form a false move towards the upside, where price dumps afterward. This is kind of in line with the power of three. Essentially, this is the weekly open. Anytime price goes above the weekly open is an opportunity for you to sell high before you get the true expansion of the weekly chart. And so don't be surprised if, we just start going bearish today. But just out of respect for the daily candle close yesterday being bullish, we're going to be looking for bullish trades today, if the chart is going to load. And then now that we are down on the 1 hourly chart, the thing that kind of strikes me is, this bearish change in state of delivery. Essentially, like, right now on the daily chart, we're bullish, but we just tapped into some sort of higher time frame PD array. On a 1 hourly chart, we have already changed, in order flow, it's already changed, because now with this candle close here, this entire block now becomes a potential resistance point for Bitcoin to just dump from this point onwards. And so right now, in the event that I am going to take a trade today, which I feel like I am obligated to mention this, on days like this, where the daily chart is pointing one way, but then we're in some sort of higher time frame resistance, so we have a reason to believe that things are going down, as well as the fact that the 1 hourly chart is currently bearish, which is against the daily bias. On days like this, I tend to not trade, right? One of the key tenets in my system is that I require time frame alignment, which means that I'm going for a short. Ideally, I want the 5-minute, the 1 hourly, and the daily chart to all be pointing towards the downside. And if I'm going to go long, I ideally want all three time frames to be pointing towards the upside. Right now, already, this is getting fuzzy. Doesn't mean that you cannot take a trade, but you're going to want to play this a little bit more cautiously if you are going to take a trade. So to kick things off right now, the scenario looks more likely that you're going to come into this fair value gap on the 1 hourly chart, and then you're going to go down from this point onwards. Now, this gets invalidated though if you just do not get any sort of changes to delivery on the 5-minute chart, right? If things just keep going up and up and up, then yeah, feel free to jump into a short. Feel free to jump into a long. Now again, personally, I'm not going to be looking to do that for another reason, which is the fact that you have relatively equal lows right here, which means that this low and this low are very close together. And if you know anything about the charts, or if you know anything about order flow or institutional trading concepts, you know that relatively equal lows and relatively equal highs tend to act as just magnets for price to target. And like, let's just say this is not looking good. If I had to lean one way, I think we're going to take the lower time frame signal a little bit stronger compared to the daily signal. Again, this is daily resistance. This is the daily level that we were looking at for price to get rejected from, for that true, weekly expansion towards the downside to happen. And so, like, yeah, I think the setup today is going to be, just get into the fair value gap and start shorting. And you're going to want to look for that in between the hours of 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. New York. Now, I cannot actually pull up the news at the moment, but from what I understand, if you have news, then just trade an hour before news to an hour after news. Man, this is insane. Like, look at this. This is so sketchy. And it's just crazy how, things like this can happen in like third world countries like Bali. The entire day, just the entire areas just completely out of Wi-Fi, which is crazy, right? You don't really think about this. You don't really, you kind of take for granted the power of Wi-Fi when you have it, until you don't, and you realize you can do nothing because everything's done on the internet. Even this recording, to the point, like, I don't even know how I'm going to be, like, uploading this video, right? But I could imagine it might take like half an hour or 45 minutes or whatever. But anyways, I mean, down to the 5-minute chart, we can see that we have swept underneath the Asia session during the London session. Now, usually this would be a pretty bullish signal because Asia accumulation, London manipulation towards the downside means that New York tends to be distribution towards the upside, which goes in line with the daily bias. But again, I really don't like the fact that we had a 1 hourly change in state of delivery. Now, if price was somewhere closer to here, instead of, breaking all the way down there, I would have said, okay, it was just sweep at the Asia lows and we're going to look for longs. But in this case right here, because of the 1 hourly changes to delivery, it's hard to write off, it's hard to ignore. So in this case, this is going to be kind of my option number one. But in the event that on a 5-minute chart, you just keep making higher highs and higher lows, then yeah, potentially this is going to be distribution. By the way, I'm not too sure if there is news today, but if there is news, you're going to want to look for these moves to happen. You're going to observe the market structure, specifically the hour before news to an hour after news. That is going to be the most telling signal for today, especially on a day like today where you have conflicting signals. You have one time frame pointing one side, you have another time frame pointing the other side. It's just the way that you want to approach, a day like today. But anyways, guys, just a heads up, we're going to be hosting a masterclass in about 18 days, just breaking down this exact system that you have been watching, and especially this exact system that's gotten an 80% win rate over the last 300 days that I've been making these daily videos. Now, anyone that signed up beforehand is going to get a bonus free gift. This is exclusive to the people that sign up beforehand. Just a heads up, just because you are in the newsletter doesn't mean that you're automatically signed up to this event. If you want to sign up to this free masterclass, click the first link below. And I'm going to now try my absolute best. I'll go to a cafe if I have to, and I'll order a creme brulee. I'll order a creme brulee at the cafe if I have to, but I will get this video out to you guys. See you.